And apologies for the late start, but welcome to Friday Night Lights live here at Jerry Loper Field in Mesa, Arizona. Tonight, the crowd buzzing as the Westwood Warriors are taking the home field for their first time this season hosting the Desert Ridge Jaguars. Jaden Ricken alongside Angus Trengmo. Welcome to Big Show Productions, your destination this season for Warrior football. Tonight, both teams enter looking to bounce back after opening week losses last week. Westwood traveled to California and fell to Burbank 41-27. It was a game of runs, down 2 touchdowns early. The Warriors exploded for 21 points in the second quarter, only to see that momentum slip away in the second half. The biggest struggle, quarterback Elliott Reed's inconsistency with hitting his receivers. Angus, what does Westwood have to do to correct that tonight and come out potentially with a W?
Yeah, Jaden, it was pretty clear in the Burbank matchup. The arm talent is absolutely there. He can make all the throws, but the ball was sailed a lot, too high, too wide. It really killed drives, especially in the key moments of the game, down a couple possessions when they really needed a score to get back in it. Receivers were finding space. They were getting open. It really just comes down to how consistent can Reed be today. And obviously in the backfield for Westwood, Keyshawn Barkas is going to be a force. He had 165 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. You know Desert Ridge has been thinking about Barkas' impact all week in practice.
And so we are also a part of the documentary crew covering the Warriors for the season. If you missed episode 1, please check it out on the same YouTube channel, Unfinished Business Season 2, down below. Catch episode 1 tonight before episode 2 releases in just a few hours on Arizona Family Sports. And Westwood set to receive the first kick. And he breaks a tackle. Unfortunately, can't turn it up the field and stop just shy of the 30-yard line.
Almost a pooch kick from Desert Ridge. I was surprised to see that. It doesn't hurt them too much. Pretty neutral starting field position for the Warriors.
And so what are you expecting, Angus, right now that Westwood's going to try on their opening offensive drive?
Well, they're going to try and get Barkas going just like they did last week. That's going to be obviously key to all of their games, this one included. I'm really interested to see how the Desert Ridge front line holds up.
And so we see Barkas in the backfield, fakes the handoff and a nice little slant, caught and down right at the 43-yard line. Westwood starting in the air, unexpected.
Yeah, beautiful screen pass. That's just great preparation from the Warriors.
And Reed able to get it there in time. He was able to fake the handoff to Barkas perfectly. That's just a smart football play. And so this time they will give it to Barkas, and he pounds through. He is a stud as he gets past the 50, and he always seems to refuse to go down. His yards after contact is what helps make him one of the best running backs in 6A, if not the best.
When you can combine being a shifty running back and really hunting for contact at the same time, that's going to reap a lot of benefits.
And so now on second down, Barkas back again, and he will meet contact at the sideline, but not before picking up another first down for the Warriors.
You can't ask for anything more if you're Westwood right now. 3 plays, and they've all worked great. Desert Ridge really probably searching for answers on this first drive. Bend no break mentality for the Jaguars here.
That slant route, whoa, and contact after the play. Caleb Cupulis couldn't hold it in.
They went for the same action to Cupulis that they started the game with. Wasn't able to haul it in. Took a pretty big hit. Almost some extracurricular activity after the play on that one.
So 2nd and 10 following the incompletion. 10:44 remaining in the first quarter. This is the Warriors' first drive of the night. Barkas far back. Now we see motion from Preston Levitt before whistles are blown. And a false start against Westwood. last week there were a lot of false starts and offsides, some of those mental mistakes. You know how important those can be in the long run, especially when they stack up.
And with the distance at this length, they're going to have to depend on the pass at some point. So let's see what Reed can do.
Following the penalty, it's 2nd and 15. And Reed on the design keeper, breaks it to the outside. He's got a few blocks, throws the shoulder and falls for a few more. Elliott Reed getting to about the 26-yard line on the monster pickup.
That's a big boy run from Elliott Reed. He was searching for contact. He's been thinking about that contact all day.
And Reed showing a little bit more of his physical side. It's not often he takes off for long runs, but he was an all-region player last year, and he's looking to repeat that once again. Reed, also a rugby player, so you know he's used to some of that contact. Low snap, Reed felt the pressure, throws it away, and a nice play to get it out of there. Westwood making moves.
Edson Porter. First action for Porter today. That was beautiful presence from Reed. Desert Ridge, the penetration really got there. Reed turned something out of nothing on that one.
And that's Porter's first catch of the season. It'll be a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2 on the 19-yard line. Westwood driving with ease right now. Barkus into a absolute gang of white as he gets tackled for maybe a pickup of 1.
3rd and 2, surely field goal range for the Warriors. I wouldn't be surprised. Shot to the end zone here.
So 3rd and very short on the 18. You know you have a powerful runner. The question is, how do you utilize him here? We also saw Westwood run some trick plays last week where they faked the run for the wide open pass. 8:52 remaining here in the first. Porter motions and flags fly. So that's the 2nd false start we've seen so far.
Westwood is going to have to limit those down the stretch if they want to hold a lead in this game.
So it goes from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6. Barkus still the man of choice, and he will get it and at least 5 more as Barkus shows that he wants his name up there with other 6A greats like Noah Roberts. And he fumbled it at the end. It was hard to tell from up here in the broadcast booth. So he had the run, but not the ball security, and that's what Coach Large said he wanted to avoid, was those turnovers.
Yeah, Westwood is doing everything right on that drive, but good heads-up play from Desert Ridge. They are starting deep in their own territory. Let's see if the Westwood front line can put some pressure on here. Desert Ridge starting at the 12. That's a long field.
So pinned on their own 12, Desert Ridge. We'll see the ball on the offensive side for the first time of the night. 8:24 in the first. Blake Julian, the quarterback for the Jaguars. He threw for 176 yards last week. 172 of those connected with Highsmith, his #1 target. And on the ground game, the ball is out. Westwood looks like they recovered, and they did. Their defense makes up for it on the first play.
That is a dream start for a defensive coordinator. They get the ball right back after the Barkus fumble. They're going to start this drive at the 16 with a fresh set of downs. The fumbles cancel out. We're going to start right where we were 2 plays ago.
And that defense doing their job. We know that that defensive front is stacked. We already talked about Sine Tenge. Preston Atwood, another senior who is a monster to have to block. He's already had 6 solo tackles, and he has a goal of 20 sacks this season. And for him, I don't think that that's So now following the fumble from Westwood and then the fumble from Desert Ridge, we will see the Warriors pick up from a pretty similar spot.
Referee sent Cervantes off the field. Reasoning unknown to us as of right now. Samson Tenge, brother of defensive lineman Sine Tenge, comes in the game at left tackle.
And more whistles. And this time, Desert Ridge gets their first flag of the night. So a 1st and 5 on the 11 now for the Warriors.
We've had about 7 plays and 3 infractions by the front lines of Desert Ridge and Westwood.
And I'm interested to see, with only 11 yards, what they choose. Barkas left side on his feet. And he'll get pushed out after a pickup of about 4.
Sweep contact to the left hash. Secondary for Desert Ridge read it very well. On a 1st and 5, that's a good play call. It's really super safe, and now they're in a very short yardage situation at the 8.
And this is where their tight ends like Preston Levitt come in clutch. Last week he was able to get open in the end zone twice. One for an extra point, and Reed takes it for himself. The running in, and Warriors are up 6-0 early following that offensive fumble.
Yeah, it's an Elliott Reed QB keeper through the C gap of the left side. Beautiful blocking from the left tackle, and Porter, the tight end. Porter got his first catch of the season earlier today, and he sets a huge block to get Reed into the end zone. Edson Porter having a dream day so far, and Elliott Reed, aside from the Barkas fumble, Elliott Reed really set up that drive.
And a 2-point conversion. We saw that last week. Westwood pulling out all the tricks early as they go up 8-0 with just 7:30 left in the first quarter. They're bringing the pressure early right now, Angus.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a masterclass from the Westwood offensive coaches. Really anything they've wanted to do, they've had it easily. Barkas did cough it up, but that's where the defense comes into play. They forced a fumble on the first play of the drive. Let's see if Desert Ridge can regroup here, limit a turnover. They've got to get something going because aside from the turnover, they've looked pretty lifeless so far.
We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want. Oh, oh, oh. Get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
And so we welcome you back. Westwood starts off the game with a turnover, but their defense quickly makes up for it, getting one of their own. And then Elliott Reed was able to command the offense and get in for a score himself. It's 8-0, 7:38 here in the first quarter. And a great start for the Warriors. Jaden Rick and Angus Trangmo on the call tonight for Big Show Productions' first ever live stream. We apologize for some of our technical difficulties. And so Desert Ridge will field the ball deep, going to the middle, and he will get pounded at the 20-yard line. And so now the Warriors defense will see the field for the second time tonight for their second play of the night. An impressive stat to have, to say the least.
Yeah, Julian and the Jaguars, that was a nightmare start to their game on the offensive side of the ball. Got to look for Gage Highsmith on the left side slot here.
And there will be a carry for a pickup of maybe one on the play.
Derek Wyatt, the main back for this Jaguars squad. Like we said earlier, they weren't really able to get anything going on the ground last week against the Gilbert Tigers in a 35-20 loss. it's been more of the same so far. They've run 2 plays, both runs. I think they've got 3 yards and a turnover.
Last week they had just 20 yards on 61 rushes. Now we'll see Julian make the pass out to the sideline and into the dirt. And now a flag laid after the play.
Yeah, that'll be roughing the passer. I didn't see it myself, but based on the ending spot for Julian, I think that was probably a deserved call.
And now so the Warriors may be a little too aggressive, kind of spilling into after the play. And that's not necessarily the worst thing. It means they're bringing the pressure, but you just got to make sure that you know when to stop.
Outside of the penalty, Kyler Preston was all over the main target, Highsmith, on that play. He had nowhere to go, and they're clearly looking for him. He was the only read.
So 1st and 10 on the 37. Handoff to Wyatt. And Wyatt met behind the line of scrimmage as he has nowhere to go.
Dax Clark, he had 12 solo tackles in the season opener against Burbank. He's really the quarterback of this defense, and he's shown it so far this year. He hit the hole pretty hard on that one, and really a free shot to the running back, Wyatt.
Still in the backfield. Once again, Wyatt thrown to the ground and in for the quick tackle. Westwood there to meet him.
Apiata Tengai was living in the backfield. He was paying rent in the backfield on that play. Brings Derek Wyatt down by his left arm. 3rd and very long for the Jaguars.
5:45 left in the first quarter. Warriors in the lead by 8. Now a 3rd and long. Feels the pressure, throws it out near the middle, and it's intercepted. Thrown into no man's land and all the way to the house for the pick 6.
Julian rushes the throw. Miguel Uribe Sabori is there with the pick. He takes it up the left sideline. Blocking from the Warriors defense. He was untouched to the orange. 14-0 Westwood.
And Westwood everywhere at the right time. The defense putting the pressure on Julian. And then Sabori able to take it all the way for the extra 6. So it's 14-0 before the extra point. And Westwood showing up right now in defending their home territory as the extra point is good. So 15-0, 5:30 in the first quarter.
This is a beautiful way to introduce your team to the home fans. It's taken about 6 minutes. They're already up 15 with 2 turnovers, one of which went for a touchdown. The other one set up the offense at the 15. A defensive coordinator's dream so far.
And we do see a flag that came after the play. The Jaguars slowly jogging off the field. And officials still out discussing the call. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a short minute.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend, get what I want. Oh, 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 get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
And so the penalty on Westwood will be applied on the kickoff. Jaden Ricken, Angus Trangmo on the call tonight for Westwood's first home game of the 2025 high school football season. Last week, a tough loss against Burbank. I had the pleasure to go out and watch the team And I think something that head coach Large noticed as well about Westwood, where the glimpses of a flawless offense. The second quarter, the Warriors went on a 21-0 run where Barkas and Reed were able to dominate in the run and in the air. The second half is where they couldn't necessarily keep it together, but I think there's so many positives to take away. And comparing that now to the first quarter of this game, we've already seen the Warriors bring that offensive pressure, and then obviously the pick six.
Yeah, and we talked to Coach Large before the game. They had a loss in 2024 to Desert Ridge in overtime, 29-28. And while he said that it was most likely motivation for the players, it was mainly most motivation for Coach Large himself. And he's clearly showed that he's come out with a beautiful game plan. The players have executed it perfectly. A defensive touchdown always helps.
And a shorter kick compared to last time, fielded at the 20 and slipping. Wyatt nowhere to go, and he will take a hit as he tries to slide.
Big hit from Nate Willis coming from the right side. Also helped, the returner lost his footing at about the 35.
And last time, Julian's pick was a result of the pressure that defensive line has brought. They already forced 2 turnovers, a fumble on the first drive, a pick on the second drive. They are smothering Julian right now.
Yeah, the pressure from the Warriors set up Julian for failure. He threw a curl route when his receiver was running to go. Uribe Sabori said, you know, I'll take it, and I'll take that 60 yards the other way for a touchdown.
Ball officially spotted on the 36 to start this drive. 2 in the backfield, and nowhere to go for either of them.
More of the same for the Jaguars this week. Derek Wyatt has gone nowhere so far.
Last week he had 54 yards total, which isn't terrible until you consider that the running game had over 60 carries and they only combined for 63 yards. So the running game still struggling for the Jaguars. Julian right side and tipped, incomplete.
Julian has had no signs of a rhythm at all. Really, the whole offense hasn't had any signs of a rhythm, especially after kicking off their game with a turnover. That's never what you want to do. Like, it seems obvious, but that's obviously going to have an impact on the rest of the game for the entire offense, especially Julian, who I don't think has had an accurate pass so far.
4:53 in the first quarter and a third down for the Desert Ridge Jaguars. Last week they lost to the Gilbert Tigers 35-20, but last year they beat Westwood in overtime 29-28. So the Warriors coming in with a chip on their shoulder. And we will hear whistles blow and timeout for Desert Ridge, and we will take a timeout with them. Stay tuned. We will be back in a short minute.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend, get what I want. Oh, 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 get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
So you're watching Big Show Productions live, our first game of the season. Third and 10 following the timeout. Desert Ridge with a chance to convert. Julian, far pass deep, and he catches it. The low drop, and he's still on his feet. Going down the middle, runs in the traffic, still not down, and finally tackled inside the 10-yard line.
And that is the layer we haven't seen yet from Desert Ridge. 2 words, Gage Highsmith. He had 172 for 2 touchdowns last week. And that is the first signs we've seen of him. A little bit underthrown by Julian, but a great adjustment from Highsmith to set up a humongous game.
And they just let Highsmith get behind them. We saw two defenders right up in front. Highsmith's able to get low, make the catch. And Westwood also charged with a face mask penalty on top of the massive pickup. 15-0, 4:40 remaining here in the first quarter.
That was the exact jolt the Jaguars needed here.
And so on the 4-yard line, Desert Ridge will go nowhere. So second and goal.
Nowhere to go for Wyatt again. Aside from the one big play, Desert Ridge has ran it quite a bit, just like last week. And it's had about the same success as last week, which is not very successful. Julian moving his running back Tay to the left side.
And the pressure, fumble, ball out. It doesn't look like Westwood will come up with it.
First
And
action we've seen for Bark on Tay, and it hits him in the numbers, lets it drop to the turf. Heads up play from the left tackle for the Jaguars to fall on that, but that was almost disastrous for Desert Ridge.
so third and goal, back to back, no pickups for Desert Ridge. Clock ticking, Julian drops back, pressure, and he's sacked. Smothered in the backfield, but he was able to get it off before the sack.
Julian had no time to think. He went to unreliable Gage Highsmith at the right side of the end zone near the pylon. He was covered up as well. Really a smart throw by Julian, just straight into the turf. Don't throw a pick, set up your kicker.
So fourth and goal, the special teams unit comes onto the field. Warriors still in the lead by 15. Desert Ridge trying to get something on the board. And the kick is blocked. Westwood has it in the end zone, but nowhere to go.
Penetration from the middle of the line, gets a hand on it. Desert Ridge, after the huge play by Highsmith, unable to capitalize. That is a killer.
And so the Warriors let Highsmith take it all the way downfield, but they stop him when it matters most, hold him to a fourth down, and then block the kick. Still 15-0 as Westwood right now, they are dominating this game.
This atmosphere has only gotten better here in Mesa as the game has gone on. Westwood has looked very solid, really looking like a playoff contender, which I know was the goal for Coach Large and his staff this season after coming oh so close last year.
The tough part about this drive will be starting on the goal line and a flag flying already. And so, however far Westwood can back up, they will.
They are 99.5 yards away from the end zone. QB sneak, yeah, I like that.
And he gets it out. A very solid pickup there, gain of about 9.
That play has really highlighted how Westwood, the reason they were able to drive straight down the field at the beginning of the game, they have owned the trenches. That O-line is doing work.
And Reed once again showing off some of those rugby skills. He dealt with an injury from rugby over the offseason, but he was able to recover and get ready for spring training in time. And a common scene as more whistles, but this time Desert Ridge with their second offsides call.
Pre-snap penalties have been a common theme. We've got, I want to say 6 pre-snap penalties from both teams combined, and we are only 9 minutes into the game.
Just under 3 minutes left. Warriors in the lead by 15. We're still here in the first quarter as we are live from Westwood High School. You're watching Big Show Productions. Low snap, fakes it, and a tipped pass. Tip passes are typically how Reed's been intercepted this season. That time he gets lucky as there were no defenders around.
Yeah, snap came in low. He had to rush the throw a little bit. Threw it right into the hands of number 55, Emery Wright.
2:43, 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line. And a fumbled snap. Reed's able to hold on and just dips it off to Barkis, who is blown up in the backfield.
That's 2 snaps in a row that have not been clean. That is a killer, especially when you're as backed up as Westwood started this drive. They are now looking at 3rd and 15 from their 3rd and 17, pardon me, from their own 7.
And so Barkis in the backfield, do you give it to him on this long that you need for him to convert on a 3rd and 18? This might be a chance for Reed to showcase his passing capabilities. Discussion, and not able to get the snap off because we will see a timeout from the Warriors. Coach Large trying to get a view on that Jaguar defense. So we will be back in a minute.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend.
Third down and 18. Warriors coming out of the timeout. Coach Large scheming up a game plan. They've been backed up following the blocked field goal.
Westwood hasn't looked for Atwood yet today. Look out for that.
Reed looks deep, but whistles get blown before he can even let go of the ball.
Stop me if you've heard this before. It's a pre-snap penalty.
Those have happened so much for the Warriors in the last 2 weeks, and you just have to start to wonder why, especially coming out of a timeout. Where is the miscommunication coming from? And they'll get a loss of down, 4th and 22 from the 3-yard line. And they're going to bring out the punt squad with 1:20 left here in the first quarter.
Deep in his own end zone here. This is going to have to be a pretty quick punt. We'll see how much distance he can get on this. Should be good, pretty good field position for Desert Ridge.
Clock's still ticking. And another penalty, delay of game. Westwood trying to make it as difficult of a punt as they can, as there's not much more field for them to get backed up on.
This is a heinous amount of pre-snap penalties we've seen, really from both teams, but mainly Westwood so far.
And the punt is able to get off, and I think they'll take it, field it at the 40. And there to make the tackle. So Desert Ridge is going to get great field position for their offense here. The Warriors not able to escape their side of the field after the blocked kick.
Desert Ridge is going to have to take advantage of an opportunity sometime. They had a big play to Highsmith on the last drive, but it led to a blocked field goal. Down 15 in the opening frame. They've had no momentum. This is really a big drive for their offense to try and get something going.
We're still in the first quarter here, 50 seconds remaining. as the Jaguars will try and squeeze off a score here in the first. Julian launches it right before the end zone, and it's caught. One play is all they need as the Jaguars get onto the board for the first time, and who other than Gage Highsmith?
I mean, he's obviously the guy they're looking to on most, if not every play. Highsmith has been open on that right side go route twice, and it's led to their two big plays today. First, a 60-yarder to really set up the field position for this drive in the long haul, and then a 30-yard touchdown to Highsmith.
And the offense lined up as left as they can here. And a timeout from Desert Ridge as they're going to talk over their plan.
That could come back to haunt the Jaguars at the end of this first half, using a timeout on an extra point.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend, get what I want. Oh, 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 get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
46 seconds left here in the first quarter. Warriors lead 15-6 as the Jaguars just took a timeout to discuss their strategy for their extra point. Are they going to kick it? Are they going to go for two? Right now, the Warriors were able to dominate on their first two offensive possessions. The third run, not so much. We saw them get stopped, and the main cause has been themselves.
Yeah, pre-snap penalties have been a recurring theme, really rearing their ugly head on that third drive for Westwood, having to punt really from their own 1 yard line. That set up Desert Ridge. One play big hitter to Gage Highsmith, the main option for this Jaguar offense, for the score.
And so they're lined up for two, even following the timeout. Motion in the backfield. Looks to his right, then misses out too high of a pass, and so the Jaguars will get held at 6. And pretty solid defense there.
Yeah, you got to be happy with that if you're a defensive coordinator. That keeps the game at 2 possessions. Westwood still with a pretty comfortable lead, getting the ball back here late in the first quarter.
Thank you for tuning into Big Show Productions. If you're interested in watching the documentary on the Warriors season, you can check out episode 1 on this channel. Just click on the link down below and go over to the video section. You can also, if you're interested, check out the first episode on Perry High School. Those are the two teams that we are covering this season. Episodes 2 dropping this week, so keep an eye out for that. Jaden Ricken, Angus Trangmo, providing you your coverage of the game, and we're making it work right now, Angus.
We are making it work. It's
an
really
absolute
true high
mess.
school ball experience up here. You know, wouldn't want it any other way.
Highsmith, though, has proved to really be that X factor for the Jaguars this game. He's made those 2 big catches for them. He's tall, he's fast, he's strong. We know that Westwood wanted to shut him down. Now the question is, are they going to be able to?
Yeah, every player on both sidelines knew that Gage Highsmith was going to have an impact on this game, whether that be with yards or shutting him down. If they were able to shut him down, that would have an impact as well, because if Highsmith isn't going, Desert Ridge has a lack of offense.
And fielded at about the 15, a hole through the middle. Can't stay on his feet. Dallin Hansen, the returner.
Reed and the offense heading back out onto the field. They're going to start this drive from about the 32-yard line. Look out for Barkas. Now that we've got some breathing room for Westwood, unlike their last drive, they are definitely going to be looking to Barkas, who's had a nice day aside from the cough up on their first drive.
And if you were asking what point of the game we're in, we're still in the first. 39 seconds, 15-6.
A byproduct of a lot of scoring and a lot of penalties.
So on the 32, the Warriors will have more room to move. And that pass incomplete through the middle. Levitt, the intended target.
Reed had Levitt every day of the week on that pass. Just led him a little too far.
And that's part of the struggle for him, has been just getting those passes to really be accurate. His receivers are finding the open spot. And I think Westwood really could have the potential to be a top team in 6A if he can fix that. There's that keeper. And he loves the run. The more I watch him, the more I realize he is not afraid to take off.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the rugby background's obviously going to help with that. It looks like a rugby player out there when he's the ball carrier. He is searching for contact and finding it wherever he can get it.
3rd and 3. This is where Keyshawn Barkas can come in clutch. Short pass over to the sideline. And there was a whistle in the middle of the play. As we await the official ruling.
I believe the ruling, Reed caught the snap with his knee down, so it works almost the same way as a kneel down. He caught the snap, had his right knee down on the ground, and that'll be 4th and 8. That is a mental mistake from Westwood. That's the second time that's happened in the first frame here.
Costly mental mistakes for Westwood. Some sloppiness after their explosive start. It's still 15-6 as we will move into the second quarter.
Westwood's offense was really potent on those first 2 drives. Of course, the crucial pick 6 caused by the pressure, and Miguel Uribe Sabori taking that 60 yards. Really untouched, though. The easiest 60 yards he'll ever have, right down the left sideline. Westwood going to punt it out of the quarter break. Desert Ridge, you know, they're looking for Gage Highsmith. That's been proven. We knew that. He's been great, as promised, just like last week. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to, now that they're developed into their playbook, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to work Grayson Herrera or Tay or the rest of that wide receiver core into the offense a little bit more in this second frame.
And the Jaguars went 3-7 last season. They were in the 6A Fiesta region. After the switching around of teams, they ended up in the 6A East Valley, and they were 0-1 to start the season, but they're going to put up a fight to try and go 1-1 with a W tonight. And a fake punt, rolling out, pass thrown into traffic, and it's intercepted at the 50-yard line, and Westwood cannot get the trick play to work.
I like the idea a lot. Try to steal possession from the Jaguars, but they are all over it. The punter had nowhere to go. I like the interception from Desert Ridge, but it would almost be better to just knock that down and pick up 15 yards. If you were to knock that down instead of picking it off, they would be starting this drive from the 37 as opposed to midfield.
And you got to wonder if that was intentional or if he just felt he didn't have the room to punt. To me, it looked intentional, which is going to, for me, raise a little bit more questions than if it wasn't.
No, that play was drawn up. I think Desert Ridge was all over it, though, especially after the 2-point conversion. They're going to be on their toes for the rest of the game.
And incomplete. Those edge rushers getting in there so fast. Julian is having to get it out in really right about 3 seconds, maybe even less.
Julian, really more of the same from last week. He finished with a 34.6 completion rate last week, which anyone who watches football and pays attention to completion rate knows that is not an ideal completion rate. He's probably hovering at about that today.
And the handoff on the feet. Powerful runner and tackled at the 40. Derek Wyatt starting to show his name.
That's the first sign of life we've seen from the Jaguar running game. If they can get that going, Westwood is going to have to face a lot of different issues on this offensive side.
Now on the 40, a pickup of 10 on the rush. And a false start.
I don't believe it. These teams have picked up right where they left off from the first quarter. We are 36 seconds in. We've got another pre-snap penalty, this time from the Jaguars.
And, I mean, break it down, Angus. Why do you think that these teams are having so many pre-snap penalties?
Well, it's not necessarily loud at Westwood tonight. There's a little bit of noise. I think it's just early season. Both offenses have been moving pretty fast. I think the linemen, once they have a few more drives, are going to settle in. We're going to see a lot less.
Pressure, nowhere to go. So 2nd and 15. Julian has struggled to get consistent passes. His yardage has come off of Highsmith, breaking off for one deep.
I mean, for Julian, that's about as close as he can get to intentional grounding without getting called for intentional grounding. He had nowhere to go. Kind of put it in the area of Zach Adams. It was close enough that they didn't throw the flag.
On the 45. Down by 9, the Jaguars trying to get another score in. 10-15 here in the second quarter.
Delay game. I saw it at 10, and I looked back at Julian. Blake Julian was not looking at his center. It's like, this is going to be another delay of game and yet another pre-snap penalty. It has been nonstop so far.
And if I told you I was surprised by that, I'd be lying. We have seen so many mental mistakes. Rolling out to his left, pass to the sideline. Is it caught? And they say it's complete. The sensational catch stays in bound and gets the first down.
Highsmith's such a talented route runner from what we've seen in 2025. He ran that curl route very well, set up his quarterback, Julian, to make that throw.
And he's really impressed me so far. I mean, looking at the stats, you could say, wow, that's impressive. But seeing him play, he's making such high-level plays. And what do you know?
The Warriors have jumped offside. They wanted to get in on the fun once again on the pre-snap penalties. That'll set up a 3rd and 5. This was a 2nd and 20. And now thanks to the route from Highsmith. Oh, they're gonna call that on the Jaguars. They're gonna say Desert Ridge moved first. Third down and 14 coming up for Desert Ridge. But back to Highsmith, he's still the only Jaguar to catch a pass today. I have a feeling that will change, but I haven't seen much of anything from the rest of this wide receiver core to really make me think about him that much.
9:35 in the second.
We can't make this up. It's
You
another
can't.
false start on Desert Ridge.
And so much self-sabotage tonight from both teams. That's going to push him back to the 49-yard line, a 3rd and 19.
I have a feeling I know what we're going to be talking about at halftime.
And almost intercepted. It just bounced out of his hands. Westwood trying to make a play on 3rd and long.
Kenny Johnson was there with the coverage. He had to lay out coming forward on that. It definitely hit him in a place he could have caught it, but that's a tough play, laying out. Couldn't corral it. Westwood will still get the ball, barring a fake punt that goes for 19 yards.
Johnson had a great game last week, too. He was able to get 6 tackles. He's done his job in that defensive secondary. And that punt is nearly blocked. And a bounce will stay in the same spot. So Westwood will get it at their own 19-yard line, 9:22 left here in the second quarter. Score is 15-6. Warriors in the lead. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend, get what I want. Oh, 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 get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
And Westwood making the catch. First play of the drive. Levitt finally getting his name called tonight.
Westwood is going to look to get the tight ends going at some point. Levitt had 42 yards and a tud last week. He is really an integral part of Reed's weaponry.
He just showed up when he was needed most. Now Barkis sees the hole, has a little bit of a block. He kind of stops and goes horizontal, so he'll get brought down at the 42, but still making it work.
Yeah, that was really good contained from the umpire. Really, that Barkis was slowed down by the referee in the middle of the field. Still got the first down, but 10 yards really could have been 15 or 20.
First and 10. Reed, quick pass through the middle, and it's caught. No fumbles, great ball security from Eric Alvarez.
First we've seen of Alvarez so far today, and for the first time since the Barkis fumble, Westwood's offense is really moving purely.
And consistent pickups, getting back to that early offense we saw. And Barkis is going to remain in the backfield. 3 receivers to Reed's left side. And a pass in the backfield is caught, but not before a flag is thrown. On his feet, he's still running and tackled down on the near sideline. Alvarez able to get it, but we're going to have to wait and see what the call is.
The back just seems to be signaling that this penalty is on Desert Ridge. The screen to Alvarez will likely stand. Plenty of discussion going on.
And Westwood not moving back just yet, but there it comes.
They're going to get him for an illegal formation, Jaden.
A false start, but that flag was thrown a couple seconds into the play, so I'm a little confused by that call personally.
I am sure that that was an illegal formation, not a false start, because that would have been pre-snap. They wouldn't even run the play if that was a false start. Really, aside from the legal formation, that was a great screen concept to Alvarez, who found some space. But we'll have to do it all over again.
So they'll get backed up 5, 1st and 15. Only 5 seconds on the play clock. Westwood's got to hurry it up. 2 seconds, 1 second.
Barely got it off.
And that short little pass, Levitt with the stiff arm, pushing, holds on to it, and forward progress will carry him to the 45.
Been a great drive for Preston Levitt so far. Clearly, he's been a focal point of this drive. He's got 2 catches for about 25 yards, and I wouldn't be surprised if they utilize him a little more here. Look out for Alvarez on the right slot here.
Desert Ridge bringing the pressure. Reed makes the connection with Levitt, who's able to hold on to it at the 30.
Westwood has seemingly noticed that Desert Ridge is not doing a very good job marking up the tight ends. Preston Levitt taking plenty of advantage. That's his 3rd catch of the drive and another first down for the Warriors.
And Levitt just has those sticky hands. He's holding on to every ball. Even when he's getting contact or it's up above, he's got to kind of stretch up for it. He's a very consistent tight end. Backfield pass, Alvarez to the right side. He has room. Does he get there and pushed out at the 5? But Eric Alvarez showing off his speed on this drive.
That's basically an identical play to the screen that got wiped off by the illegal formation. It's just a quick hitter, wide receiver screen to the right side. Good blocking from the rest of his receiving core. Alvarez can fly. He finds the right sideline and is downed at the 7-yard line.
15-6, the Warriors looking to punch it in for their third score of the night. And Barkis, left side, his jersey's getting tugged, but he's gonna go all the way.
That was an inspired run from Keyshawn Barkis. 7-yard touchdown for number 2, his first of the game. Barkis, I mean, we knew he was gonna have an impact, but he has really been stellar for Westwood this game.
He's aiming for 2,000 yards this season. A very high goal, but with the way he's been performing when he gets the ball, I won't say that it's unrealistic.
I could totally see that happening from what I've seen from Barkis this season.
So 21-6 before the extra point. Warriors get a nice snap and straight through the uprights, as now we're looking at 22-6, Warriors leading with 6:21 here in the second quarter. You're watching Big Show Productions live.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend, get what I want. Oh, 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 get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
And so welcome back inside the broadcast booth. What have you noticed so far, Angus? It's been a pretty successful game for the Warriors so far.
Well, first of all, I've noticed a lot of pre-snap penalties. Both offenses have really been shooting themselves in the foot with pre-snap penalties. But outside of that, Keyshawn Barkis has been a factor. He's got plenty of yards. He coughed up one on the opening drive. His defense backed him up, got the ball right back. But Barkis has been a problem. Desert Ridge will be looking to contain him at halftime for sure.
And Preston Levitt was such a big part of that last scoring drive for Westwood. His hands were able to hold on to it through pressure. He was picking up first downs. And then we saw Alvarez. I think, honestly, that might be Westwood's best drive yet, because it shows what Coach Large wanted, which was a balance between the pass and the run. They did that perfectly on that drive.
Yeah, they utilized Levitt multiple times, and he made some contested catches. He had one in double coverage down the seam that was really nice. He high-pointed it, and Reed put it where only Levitt could catch it as well.
And so the kick is fielded, but there's not much space for him to run to. We'll get to, let's say, right past the 25-yard line.
Julian has got to get something going. He has not made many accurate passes. He's running with a completion percentage barely north of 30%. I mean, if you can't get the run game going with Wyatt, which they have barely, Julian's got to step up.
One back. Julian drops, looks left, makes the catch, and thrown to the ground. Westwood there to swallow him up.
That's a big play, being able to contain Gage Highsmith, who's been the weapon for Desert Ridge so far. Setting up a second and long. Desert Ridge's playbook has been pretty thin, aside from the one-play touchdown drive.
And one thing I think that's important to note is how Highsmith was really the only receiver to have yards last week. He had 172 of the team's 176 as Julian goes long and incomplete. No flags called. Westwood making the great defensive stop.
Coach loves drawing up plays to Gage Highsmith. That was another go down the left side. Single coverage, but really amazing coverage out by Nate Willis, who's been all over. Or no, excuse me. That was Trey Steele out on the right side with beautiful coverage on Highsmith, who I think wanted a flag, but definitely not a penalty.
And Steele, only a sophomore, he's been able to lock down some of these senior receivers, and he's only 5'10". That pass short, but caught. The curl route gets maybe a pickup of 4.
That is a very interesting play call. 3rd and 12, they go with a quick curl to Highsmith, really only 4 or 5 yards downfield. Steele makes the easy tackle, and out comes the punt team. That's a perplexing play call from Desert Ridge.
I think that's one that they're going to look back on and think to themselves, why did we do that? Now, the other thing is, was that maybe the incorrect read? Was he not supposed to look there? Was Julian in the wrong, or was it drawn up the wrong way? That's definitely one that they're going to have to think about twice.
At some point, they're going to have to look away from Gage Highsmith because he can only do so much, especially when that's all the secondary is focused on right now, is what is Gage Highsmith doing.
And whistles, a common trend here tonight. And we'll see another player run onto the field. Westwood student section bumping the tunes here tonight. And a pretty packed stands, I would say.
That's a bigger student section than we'd ever had at my high school football games. Shout out Stevensville. Stevensville, Montana, stand up.
And a fumbled punt recovered by Desert Ridge. Oh, no.
That went right through the hands of Spencer Blatter. And really a auspicious bounce for Desert Ridge. No one else on the field even had a chance at that recovery. Not a very big net game, but Desert Ridge steals the possession. Let's see if they can take advantage.
22-6, Warriors leading, 4:38 remaining in the second quarter. You're watching Big Show Productions live. If you want to check out the documentary on the Westwood Warriors produced by us that airs on Arizona Family Sports, click on our channel link and go to episode 1. You'll find it in our videos alongside Perry High School's documentary, those 2 Arizona high school teams that we are following for the 2025 season.
Desert Ridge has had tunnel vision to Gage Highsmith. Let's see if that's the case on this drive.
Left side, quick throw, incomplete, just couldn't hold on to it.
They were looking for Zach Adams on that one. Highsmith not on the field.
And Adams had -1 yards last week, so you can kind of see why Highsmith has been that one and only target. But I do like that they're at least trying to look for some of those other options, because you're not going to get better if you're not getting actual reps.
And I mean, you know, non-conference games are important, but you've got to work out what your offense is going to look like.
And Reed
nice
sneaks
play.
away. Excuse me, Julian. And Julian able to finally get some movement for the Jaguars.
I think they're going to get him with a late hit here, too. They're going to get Westwood. Another mental error out here in Mesa tonight.
That's not always the easiest mistake to make. You have to be. That one's preventable.
Yeah, they're going to get Clark with a late hit.
And easy yards for the Jaguars following the penalty.
If this game tightens up by halftime or in the third quarter, we're going to look back, and a huge focal point of this game is going to be that muffed punt by Spencer Blatter. That was a huge play. Westwood was going to get the ball back, looking to make it a 3-possession lead.
22-6, 4:28 remaining. Ball on the 24-yard line. Snapped, handed off, and Westwood's already there in the backfield ready to bring him down.
The Westwood defensive front has been ruthless, led by Tenge, of course, but you've got guys like Preston Atwood, Latravion Fricks. They're all doing work up there. Westwood has owned the trenches on both sides of the ball. That's the reason they are up 16 in this game.
Clock is ticking. We are just a few underneath 4 minutes left in the first half. 2nd and 11. Westwood almost jumps, holds on.
5 on the play clock. Desert Ridge has got to get this off.
2 seconds. Julian, does he save it?
Oh my goodness, it's a false start.
Desert Ridge cannot get out of their own way.
And it's almost kind of funny and kind of ironic. They were battling for which penalty they wanted. They were 1 second away from a delay of game. Instead, they get the false start call. So you're so afraid of getting that delay of game that you're making other mistakes.
Desert Ridge finds himself at the 30. I was watching kicker Jorge Arvizu in warm-up. This was about his limit, 47 yards.
Felt the pressure, able to sneak it away. And Wyatt blowing up, and somehow he stays on his feet before tumbling a moment later.
Screenplay, never had any space. Wyatt did a pretty good job of not making the loss too harsh, but still a loss of 2, and making Arvizu's life a little worse if he has to come out and try and make it 22-9.
3rd and 18. The Jaguars are going to need some yards. I think you put it perfectly. You do not want to put your kicker in that position, especially after the blocked field goal earlier. Motion, stumbles. Julian looks down the middle, incomplete. And he could not hold on to the ball. Mason Rowe, the 6-foot senior, with the drop. And that is a crucial mistake that Westwood is going to gladly take.
And that's really telling of the state of the Desert Ridge receiving corps. Obviously, you can rely on Highsmith to get open and make those plays. But past that, we've seen a lot of drops from the Jaguars today.
And they don't want to punt it.
Oh, wow, they're going to go for this.
But they're not taking the field goal.
4th and a mile.
I think this is a smart move. They need something to get back in. The punt's not going to work. The field goal is not going to work.
18 yards is a long way to look, though.
Julian down the middle and low ball. He was looking for Rowe once again, but he goes 0 for 2 on those plays. And they will turn over the ball on the 32-yard line. 2 minutes and 29 seconds for the Warriors to potentially punch it in one last time here in the first half.
Julian was looking for Rowe for the 2nd straight play. Even if he put that on the numbers, that was going to be a pick because Rowe was heavily covered. And again, that Westwood defensive front, Tinge getting pressure and forcing a quick throw. Julian, really nothing he could do.
And the most familiar scene that you will ever watch here tonight.
Ref was not ready for the play yet, so it's not going to be a pre-snap penalty. I think that's just mercy from the officials.
Reed looks to his left, down the middle, makes the catch, still on his feet, and he gets ankle tackled past the 50-yard line. A solid pickup for Caleb Cupulus.
The slant route was aggressively open. Reed could have put that anywhere near Cupulus, and he would have made that play. Linebackers drop back in coverage, and he had all kinds of space. Oh, you're never going to believe this.
Oh. And it feels like anytime Westwood gets some yards, it's like, hey, we're going to take 5 off of that. We had a pre-snap penalty. Anytime they get a big pickup, they're walking at least 5 of that back.
That's why that drive for their latest touchdown was so pure that no penalties on that drive. They were able to work in Barkas and Levitt really with ease.
Reed goes deep. He's open, makes the catch down the sideline and in for the score. Ben Atwood goes the distance.
Yeah, it's a go route down the left sideline for Ben Atwood, whose name we haven't said a whole lot tonight. He beats the corner in coverage, all kinds of space, and a beautiful lob ball from Elliott Reed. Westwood is making a statement in this first half so far.
Atwood had the most yards in the air last week against Burbank with 45, and he will pick up more than that on that single play. And the extra point is good, so it is 29-6 with 1:48 as the Warriors don't need much time to score on that possession.
Westwood has looked great so far. The offense has been working great outside of penalties. They're on pace for 58. That's all you can ask for as an offensive coordinator. Once they get this wide receiving core going, they are a force to be reckoned with on the offensive side.
And the Warriors kind of taking a play out of the Jaguars playbook. They're going for that deep route, and that was just a beautiful route there. He beat him on the outside, got behind the defender, and then he's able to go all the way into the end zone. I like that aggressive passing style, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Reed was able to finally get the ball right in the breadbasket, and if he can continue to do that, we're going to see plays like that throughout the entire season.
Yeah, that's the best throw Elliott Reed's made all night, and he couldn't have put that in a better spot for Ben Atwood. He hit him in stride, made Atwood look really good on that route, and really a simple touchdown. Although it was 60 yards, it was a simple touchdown, just a throw and catch.
And so the score is 29-6 as we get ready for the kickoff here. You're watching Big Show Productions live, a two-man crew tonight trying to do it all as we welcome you to Westwood's first home game. And a very short kick, and Westwood recovers. And I sure was not expecting that one, as Westwood gets the onside with great field position and still plenty of time left on the clock.
Beautiful onside kick from Alejandro Cuevas. Desert Ridge could have had it about 3 times, but it slips by the Jaguar special teams and is picked up by Dallin Hansen, the safety. I don't think the offense for Westwood was quite prepared. They're still over on the sideline trying to figure out what this drive's going to look like.
They're saying, man, I wanted a break. We just drove down the field. But a chance to keep that momentum going. The adrenaline's still high.
Let's see if Desert Ridge learns their lesson. Alvarez seems unmarked. Some confusion from the Jaguars, but Atwood is in single coverage on the left side. Let's see if they go to him.
Reed right side, short pass, but it's caught. Pickup of a couple.
Warriors moving fast with 1:30 left.
The clock's still running. They have to keep up the pace. Low snap, Reed recovers, gets a great pass off. Alvarez was ready and prepared, and now a lot of your time management is going to come on how fast you can get the next play ready.
Alvarez got absolutely rocked on that route. He did not see the corner coming in from the right side, but he picks up a few extra yards after the contact, gets the first down. That's a great play from Eric Alvarez.
And we're going to see Edson Porter rush onto the field. He's over on the right side. 111. Reed, drop back looks, middle, caught. Porter makes the last second substitution, and he knows that he was going to get that ball coming his way.
And that's a great throw from Reed into traffic over the middle. Edson Porter and Preston Levitt, the tight ends, making their presence felt today.
50 seconds in the second quarter. Reed rushing to his right, throws right before the end zone, and he's in for the score. Preston Ben Atwood.
The second touchdown for Ben Atwood. He finds him at the 2-yard line. Reed with a beautiful pocket escape. He rolls to his right, finds Atwood, who kind of just stumbles into the end zone at the right pylon. Westwood leads 35-6. They are sending a message here in Mesa.
And in the span of 1 minute, we saw the Warriors take it to the end zone twice. And they're going for 2. It's the second time tonight that they've lined up for 2. 35-6, 43 seconds remaining. And the pass on the trick play, and there's a reason that Reed is the quarterback.
Caleb Kapilas on the Philly special, he was playing Trey Burton. He was looking for Reed running an out route to the right pylon. Threw it way out in front of him. The 2-pointer is no good. But Westwood leads by 29 with 43 seconds left to go in the first half. This offense is looking dangerous.
And I think they're going to want to get a running clock started. They need to score a few more, but there is potential for it. And if Westwood's defense can make another stop, this game might be over much faster than I anticipated coming into this. Keep in mind, the last time these two met, it went to overtime, and Desert Ridge only won by 1. That was a neck-and-neck game. We're seeing the makings of a blowout right now, 35-6, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself because Westwood went on that 21-point run last week, only to let it all up in the second half to Burbank.
I think what we really should be saying is that Desert Ridge won this game last year, and that script has been flipped upon its head. Coach Large is making a statement with his team. We talked to him pregame. He said that that loss last year was more than enough motivation for this week, and his team has executed perfectly so far, aside from the pre-snap penalty issue.
That seems to have kind of gone to both teams, and now a fumbled, muffed reception, and the throw down. No penalty called, but that was an aggressive tackle.
From our vantage point, that looked like the makings of every face mask in the history of football, but he must have gotten the shoulder because the play stands. Highsmith misread the kickoff. That cost him about 10 yards. And as if Desert Ridge didn't need any more piled on in the first half, they're going to start this drive from their own 16.
38 seconds, a 29-point lead for the Warriors right now as we near the end of the first half. Handoff to the outside, and he will go straight out of bounds. Keep in mind the clock still ticking away.
I think that play call for Desert Ridge is just really trying to avoid another turnover. They cannot afford another score, which really we could have said that when they allowed the onside kick to get recovered by Westwood, but it looks like they're just going to let this tick to the half.
10 seconds left on the game clock. And that will conclude the first half here live from Westwood High School. The Warriors showing off for the friends and family here for their first home game of the season as they lead 35-6, and it has been complete domination right now for the Warriors in a very exciting matchup, and one that I think is going to maybe be a tone setter once again here on the two-man broadcast setup. We're making it work.
We're doing great.
Let's reflect on that first half, though, because I think that there's a lot of positives to take away, but we have to mention, too, all of those pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, pre-snap penalties, I mean, you don't want this to be a common theme in the rest of the season, and obviously Westwood has been getting away with it so far. They lead by 30. They are in a great spot, but they're going to need to cut down on those down the stretch of the season. The unit that has really impressed me for the Warriors tonight is the defensive line. They haven't racked up a bunch of sacks, really due to Julian getting the ball out very quick regularly. But they've been living in the backfield. Wyatt has had nowhere to go. Julian's completion rate has probably gone down from 34%. And aside from one big play to Gage Highsmith, the Jaguars have had nothing going.
I think the Warriors have done an amazing job of improving on all their mistakes last week. Everybody's getting the ball. Barkus, we haven't seen as much, but when he's had it, he's making those big pickups. I'm really impressed with the way that Reed has been able to kind of change his game and become that more accurate passer.
Elliott Reed has been making some great throws. None better than the go route to Ben Atwood for 6. He finds him down the left sideline. He's got plenty of space, but Reed puts it exactly where he would want to place it to Atwood, who doesn't even have to slow down at all. He just takes it in stride, and it's green grass to the end zone. So Westwood, if they can get this play out of Reed all season, they are in business.
And so we will take a short break for the halftime here once again. The Warriors leading 35-6. Big Show Productions will return in 14 minutes. And welcome back to Big Show Productions Live. We're here covering the Westwood Desert Ridge game, and the first half was a complete blowout from the Warriors. 35-6 was the score, and the Warriors were able to play so effectively on both sides of the ball. It was a little worrisome at first when the Warriors had a fumble, but then they were able to recover on the first play on defense, and then from there it was a little slow, but they really turned it on in the second quarter and showed that they might be one of those competitive teams in 6A this year. Angus, your thoughts?
Yeah, outside of a few plays, everything has come up Warriors so far. Elliott Reed, the quarterback for Westwood, has been on his game outside of a couple throws. He put some balls into really tight targets. He had a long bomb to Atwood for 6. They haven't had to rely on Keyshawn Barkas as much as they did last week, which I really think has opened up the offense and led to this huge lead. Another key, like I said before the halftime break, the defensive front for Westwood has been paying rent in the Desert Ridge pocket.
Absolutely.
They have lived back there. Julian has had little to no time to throw, except for one play, which actually ended up being a touchdown to Gage Highsmith. If Westwood can keep this up against some of their teams in conference, they can contend for a playoff spot.
And as we are just a few seconds away from kickoff, we want to remind you of the Unfinished Business documentary that is being filmed for the Warriors right now. You can check out episode 1 on this YouTube channel. Just click on the big icon down below and go to videos. You can find Westwood episode 1 and Perry High School episode 1 if you're interested in seeing how a rival 6A high school is doing this time around. The two actually will play in October, so I think that'll be an interesting matchup because Westwood has kind of been the underdog of 6A. A lot of people write them off, and I think with Burbank last week, they were showing signs of maybe why people do that, but this time with Desert Ridge, I think Westwood has really showed up ready to play.
I'm interested to see how the production crew does with Westwood Perry. Are we just gonna double staff? So that's all.
This is Big Show Productions' first live production. Right now, we're the only live production crew. Two-man operation, me and Angus up here in the booth tonight, so we appreciate you dealing with our broadcast and some of the technical issues that we have
We're battling
faced
up here.
tonight.
Absolutely battling.
Shout out to our producer, Chris Peterson, down there on the sideline, lugging his camera around for hours at a time, and then the best part, he gets to go home and spend all week editing the footage, so not a lot of rest for him as he has given us the permission to broadcast this game under Big Show Productions.
Desert Ridge gets the ball to kick off the half. They need to show signs of life or else this is going to get out of hand quick.
35-6, we are close to a running clock. And the kick is a far one, fielded at the 6-yard line. Through the middle, down the alley, and he's on his feet. One tackle to beat. He doesn't even get near him, and all the way for a 96-yard return. Grayson Herrera takes it to the house.
Well, there's one way Desert Ridge can get back into this game, and I think that was it. Grayson Herrera takes that 94 yards. We have laundry on the field. We're going to wait up on the celebration for Desert Ridge. It was on the opposite side of the field from the return.
That's going to be great field position if they don't count the touchdown.
Herrera shot right through the middle, really untouched. Put a nice move on a defender and then only had the kicker the beat and just ran right past him.
That's great field vision. He saw where the hole was.
Oh, block in the back, crucial.
And so Herrera's touchdown won't count, but the Jaguars will start this half with great field position. And that's, though, honestly so representative of the first half was the penalties, costly to both teams in big ways, and we already see one on the first play of the second half.
And that block in the back, based on where the flag was, that happened on the clear opposite side of the play, which leads me to believe that they didn't even need that block.
Absolutely
in order,
not.
to get Herrera to the house.
So they'll be put onto the 40-yard line. And whistles.
An orchestra of whistles tonight in
And
Mesa.
they're making Herrera walk over to the sideline. Interesting.
I didn't see anything Herrera did wrong on play before.
The handoff. And a big tackle throws him to the ground.
The Jaguars couldn't get anything going on the run game with Derek Wyatt. So their first play, they go to the backup, Barkin Tay. More of the same. He only gets 1 yard. Westwood picking up right where they left off in the first half. The defensive front getting pressure once more.
Atwood bringing that pressure on the edge. So 2nd and 9. Trips to the right. Now we'll see motion from Herrera, who's back in the game. And Julian's looking his direction, lets it fling. And Herrera makes the reception.
Good connection from Julian and Herrera there. Herrera in motion to the left side, runs a 5-yard out, gets just enough space where Julian can slide it in the window. 3rd and manageable here.
3rd and 5, the first third down of the second half, and a chance for the Jaguars to jumpstart their comeback and try and get back into this one.
They had 4th down and 18 from the 33 earlier this game. They went for it, so I'm assuming the 35 is also now field goal territory.
Julian deep and nobody around, and we see a flag on the sideline.
They're going to get Kenny Johnson with pass interference. He extended a little bit, but I don't think that ball was close enough to Highsmith to warrant a flag.
Highsmith will gladly take that, though, giving his team an easy first down. And penalties, penalties, penalties.
Jaguars have an opportunity to, if they're going to work themselves back in this game, they need to capitalize. They had a play first and goal at the 4. They came out of that with nothing. So they have to be able to capitalize on this opportunity.
Motion, handoff, right side on the sweep, and a great tackle ready to bring him down, Spencer Blatter.
That play's coming back. There was a hold on the right side. Couldn't get a number on who, but outside of the penalty, another play designed for Grayson Herrera to start this second half for Desert Ridge. They've kind of strayed away from Highsmith or bust, and that's a positive sign for the Jaguars offense. They weren't able to get anyone going outside of Highsmith in the first half.
First and 18 following the holding call on the 28-yard line, 35-6. Jaguars trailing big. And there's laundry on the field once again.
We've learned nothing at halftime. There's another false start on Desert Ridge this time. First down and 23 is a long road. They're right back where they were before the PI on Johnson. Like I said, at 1st and 10, which is a castaway from where they're at now, they have to be able to capitalize on these opportunities.
So many penalties this game for both teams. Five seconds on the play clock. Julian looks to the sideline. He's got to hike it quick. And He will not get the snap off, so
Desert Ridge uses a timeout.
walking a very thin line, Desert Ridge.
That is the last thing the Jaguars coaching staff wants to do is burn one of their 3 timeouts
On
mere
a
2
first-
minutes into the second half. While it's a long first down, it is still first
It's a
down.
first
and they're
down.
having to burn a timeout.
That's very interesting. 9:54, as you just mentioned. We're barely into the third quarter, but they're in kind of scoring range. They've been pushed back a lot with all of the penalties, but there's still a chance to make something happen here and get that ball into the end zone.
With how the Westwood offense has been playing today, I feel like they need to come out of here with something because you know they're going to keep that pace up, and Westwood has won the turnover battle convincingly so far. So Desert Ridge really just has to get chunk plays and come out of this drive with anything.
And so maybe this will be looked back on as a strategic timeout if they're able to make a touchdown off of it. 33-yard line. Wyatt in the backfield, looks to his left, the little shovel pass, and he's trying to turn upfield, and he will not go anywhere as he's met immediately at the line of scrimmage.
Desert Ridge tries to get Derek Wyatt, RB1, going again, and it's that Westwood front 7, stopping him for another short gain. In the 2 games for Desert Ridge so far, the running game has been non-existent. I'm sure they'll be looking to get that going sometime, but it has not been today.
Clock running, trailing by 29. You've got to start scoring and doing it fast. 2nd and 22.
Tay in the backfield and stands of Wyatt.
Quick pass to the right and overthrown. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down situation. That timeout right now hasn't shown any signs of life for this offense.
Julian had a man on an out route, but it was simply just overthrown. It was almost going back the other way. And if that was intercepted, he had nothing but green grass in front of him.
3rd and 22 on the 32-yard line. 9 minutes left in the third quarter for Westwood's first home game of the 2025 season. Feels the pressure, escapes the sack narrowly, but whistles are blown.
Oh, they're going to get him with another false start. This
How?
is unreal.
How many times can you get pushed back?
How many times can you make the same mistake without figuring it out? It's almost at a sense of like, are the quarterback and center on the same page even? Because clearly the linemen are having issues with timing up that snap. That's got to be about, they're nearing double-digit false starts for the Jaguars today. That's unheard of.
Sloppy mistakes being made.
It's early in the third quarter. We just started the second half.
So now 3rd and forever. 27 yards to go. And they're just going to hand it off. He'll get a couple, but obviously Desert Ridge kind of accepting that they weren't going to get 30 yards on that play.
Yeah, Beeman's coaching staff tries to catch Westwood off guard to the best they can with a draw play, maybe set up a manageable 4th down. They went to Bark and Tay again, too. Less use of Derek Wyatt in that backfield in the second half. Maybe they're trying something out.
4th and 24, pickup of 3 following the run. 8 seconds on the play clock. Julian, pressure, narrowly gets it out, and they will get it to the 20-yard line. But that's going to be 10 yards shy of where they needed to go. And surprise, surprise.
Oh, they're going to get Westwood with roughing the passer. Desert Ridge is blessed with a fresh set of downs on 4th and 24. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Yeah, that was just a blindside hit. That's all that was. Xavier Lundy was coming off the right side. Got in a pretty good hit on Julian, but it looked so bad because Julian didn't even see him. So a questionable roughing the passer keeps the drive alive for the Jaguars.
So Desert Ridge gets multiple penalties, only to be saved by one of Westwood's penalties. What a story of mistakes tonight. Left side met in the backfield by Blue.
Xavier Lundy, fresh off the interesting, if you will, roughing the passer call, moving with new life in his legs, crosses over most of the field and lights up Herrera for a loss of 1. Lundy was going to make the tackle on that play no matter where the ball went.
Ball on the 11, 7:30 on the clock, and a swift tackle made near the line of scrimmage.
That's Apiata Tenge, brother of Sine. They team up on the defensive front regularly, and they've been doing it all night. Again, that's 2 run plays for the Jaguars and a net gain of about half a yard.
3rd and 9. Coming out of the huddle, they have about 10 seconds to snap the ball.
Look for Desert Ridge to go to Highsmith here. He's been the 3rd down guy.
Rolling to his left side, he's got a few blocks. Quick pass, nearly intercepted and thrown out of bounds.
Desert Ridge only set up one read to Herrera there. He was not open. Julian really just trying to prevent the interception. Throws it where Westwood can't grab it. 4th and 9. You'd think they'd have to keep the offense out here down 29.
Absolutely. This is no time to bring out the field goal unit. 6:45 in the 3rd, and that clock might seem like you have a lot of time now, but when you're down by 29, you really are going to need every second you can get.
And down 29, you cannot eat almost half the quarter on your opening drive.
No. Julian, end zone, tipped up and incomplete. Westwood makes the stop in the red zone.
Expectedly, they were looking for Highsmith. Westwood read it, knocked it away. Desert Ridge is not able to capitalize. Westwood is in control of this game entirely.
35-6, 6:40 remaining. The last time Westwood made a stop in the red zone and got the ball back, they were not able to escape, and that turned into a very short punt. I'll be interested to see how their ability to move out of their own red zone will change this time around. And handoff.
What a move.
Power runner. Barkis ducks and goes in at full force.
Keyshawn Barkis was not thinking about his yards. He was thinking about where the next Desert Ridge Jaguar is in front of him. He was finding every defender and greeting them like, we are out of halftime and I am back on the field.
And they're going to go this time with Reed. He sees a hole and room to go. Reed sticks to the sideline. He looks behind him and he's pushed out just before the 30-yard line, and he saw green and said, I'm going.
The Barkis carry sets up a beautiful read option. Elliott Reed makes the right read, just like his name. He takes that about 45 yards, and Desert Ridge sold out on the Barkis run. Can you blame them? Barkis has been all over the hashes today.
No receivers to his left. We'll see some motion this time, and now it's Porter. Reed looks for Porter, throws it above him, and is it intercepted?
Good read from Noah Mendonca, number
No, it is
42
not.
for Desert Ridge. He got a hand on that, forces the incompletion.
I kind of felt like that was a forced throw. I don't really know if that was fully the right move. Luckily, it wasn't picked off. We know Reed had 2 interceptions last week.
I was a little surprised to see him not tuck and run with that. He had a little bit of space.
Barkas gets a block, and he's so good at just getting you nearly 10 yards on every pickup. Last week, he averaged 7.9 yards a carry, and I think that average is going up this week.
I'd love to know how many of those yards are after contact, because he really is a powerful runner, especially at this level. Desert Ridge's linebackers, it's taken 2 or 3 of them in most cases to bring Barkas down.
3rd and 1, 5:20 in the third, and he's got an open right side of the field, makes a juke. He cuts back inside where he is tackled at the 8-yard line, and I honestly think if he kept that more to the outside, he might have gone all the way.
Yeah, Barkas has taken control of this drive. The read option was set up by Barkas's presence and the sellout from Desert Ridge, and he's got all kinds of space thanks to great blocking around the outside from Westwood. Like I said earlier, they can really do anything they want right now on the offensive side of the ball.
1st and goal on the 8, and Reed just gets obliterated in the backfield.
Well, they can't do anything they want. Desert Ridge was in the backfield very quickly on that play action look. Reed had nowhere to go.
And that clock's still ticking. If you're Desert Ridge, you're going to want that to not happen, obviously. When you're down 29, it's 4:25 in the third. And Westwood in prime scoring position as Reed looks over to the sideline at Coach Large.
And the last thing Desert Ridge is needed on this drive is the success of the run that keeps the clock running.
Large, and that pass is batted down. No whistle blown, and then they blow it late.
Reed was pressured. He really just spiked it into the ground once he got out of the pocket to avoid the intentional ground. Oh, no, they're going to get him. He was not in the tackle box. They're going to get him with intentional grounding.
I think even the officials were thinking of what was happening because they didn't blow the whistle right away. Desert Ridge thought that it might have been a fumble. They were going for it, but that's going to move him back with the intentional grounding call.
Yeah, an interesting call for sure. Reed was outside of the hashes. The play started from the middle, so I would think he was out of the tackle box by then, but they're going to tag him with intentional grounding. 3rd and a long ways.
3rd and 24 yards to the end zone. Quick rollout to his left. Open on the sideline. Gets the feet down. And the catch from Alvarez will set them up for a 4th and not quite as long.
Yeah, Eric Alvarez ran a great route and made an even better catch. That's an NFL catch. He got both feet down, looking like Santonio Holmes on that left sideline.
And no field goal team yet. 9 yards to go. It's a 4th down situation. And I don't know if Westwood will go for this. I mean, you're up 29.
Yeah, Warriors are going to use a timeout here.
I think it's a smart move. So as we welcome you back into the broadcast booth, the 2-man operation, myself and Angus here, providing you guys your coverage tonight. And this 3rd quarter has been a lot of the same things we saw in the second. Sometimes teams come out of that halftime break, and you feel like they've made some adjustments. I feel like we've still seen so many penalties from both of these teams.
Yeah, specifically, there was a sequence of plays. Desert Ridge had, I believe, 3 pre-snap penalties, set up a 4th and 24, got bailed out by Westwood roughing the passer. They've been going back and forth all night, really, with the infractions. One thing I did notice on that first drive for Desert Ridge, they took almost 6 minutes off that clock, and even with the score, it would be a long road. They ate up almost half of the 3rd quarter, down 29. That's not a formula for victory. That's not going to get you back in the game.
And a lot of that was kept alive by luck. We mentioned that 4th down where they got the roughing the passer call, and then when they had a chance closer to the end zone, they couldn't convert there either. they are being shut down by Westwood's defense. I think it's going to be tough for them to come back. And as you mentioned, they took so much time off the clock. I don't know if it's even going to be possible for them to make a comeback as the timeout is over, and we will see Westwood keep the offense on the field.
I don't know if this is from a standpoint of just working on a fourth down offense, maybe for a later point in the season, or maybe a lack of trust in the kicker. I don't see that, though, in a 35-6 ball game.
9 yards to go to the end zone. Throws the Philly special. Didn't really work as it's intercepted in the end zone, and I don't know if that play was worth a timeout.
No, they drew it up. They had an idea, and I don't think the execution was there. The route, he had the route very early if he saw it, but Cupolesu had the ball in his hands. He's 0 for 2 with a pick today. He had the throw on the two-point conversion that he lofted way in front of his quarterback, Reed.
If I'm Westwood, I think that it's not a terrible situation to have gone for it there, but if it's not open, you don't want that intercepted. Pin them on the 9. You're going to keep them a little bit deeper. I mean, they get it on the 20. It's not like they have drastically different field position. It's a difference of 11 yards. But still, I feel like maybe that's one where you don't throw it.
I mean, with how this game has gone so far, I think I'd trust my defense from
Oh, absolutely.
my own 30 getting a stop right now. The front line has been dangerous.
And we see a rush. And once again, nowhere to go. He's going negative. We hear whistles as the ball went loose.
Kyler Preston stripped that right out of Derek Wyatt's hands. The whistle blew for forward progress before the takeaway. I feel like that play probably should have gone on a little longer. Wyatt was still pumping the legs, trying to get yards, not going anywhere. So another touchdown wipe. Now, both teams have had one touchdown wipe from the scoreboard. They cancel out.
3:43, Warriors leading 35-6. You're watching Big Show Productions live. Make sure to check out episode 1 of the documentary. Just click on the channel icon down below. Go to the video section and you will see Westwood's episode and Perry High School if that interests you as well. It's a Hard Knocks style documentary following high school teams here in the Valley. So 2nd and 10. Short pass, and it's a low one. And a
Desert
third
Ridge trying to get Derek Wyatt going, doing anything they possibly can. And he just hasn't been producing at all. They're down a 9. I mean, I feel like when you're Westwood in this situation, 3rd and 4th down, do or die downs, they've gone to Highsmith over and over. So they'll have eyes on Gage Highsmith from the snap here.
He loves that rollout with the block. Sideline pass. Did he get his feet down? No, he did not. So that'll be incomplete, but the athleticism was there, and of course you've got to go for it.
Yeah, they're looking for
But they're sending the punt squad.
like they usually have. I think Julian led him a little bit too far out of bounds. He ran out of space, couldn't make the play.
So was sending out the punt 29 points down kind of a sign that you're not really expecting to get back into this?
I think it's a sign that they're trying to just not give Westwood field position where this game is truly over.
And that punt is a pretty short one. Fielded in this time, not muffled. Fair catch at the 44-yard line. 2:30 remaining. Score still at 35-6 as Westwood was unable to convert in the red zone on their previous drive, but their defense came in clutch and got a big stop with Desert Ridge, and there is an injury out on the field. And
Yeah,
that
Keyshawn
is
Barkas was taken to the ground receiving that punt, and he is still down. He has not got up. So trainers will come out. It looks like a bit of stretching. It might just be a cramp in the valley heat here in early September.
We wish Keyshawn the best as we take a short break. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend, get what I want. Oh, oh, oh. Get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
And Barkus still on the ground as we come back from our break. 2:30 remaining in the third quarter as we await Keyshawn Barkus, and hopefully he's able to get up. 35-6. And trainers helping him to his feet.
And we've been talking all night about the impact that Barkus has had on this offense. This would be a crushing blow, but we think that it is just some pretty severe cramping, so they might give him the rest of the night off, and he could be back next week. But we'll see. I'm no doctor. I can't tell what happened down there.
And Barkus going over to the athletic training table on Desert Ridge's side of the field. Not often you see players go to the other team's medical bench. And with Barkus injured, we will see a handoff to a newer face on the running side.
Yeah, that was Nate Willis. You usually see at linebacker and in coverage, they put him in on offense as a running back to make up for the Barkus injury. They do have one Carrera, the sophomore, listed, but they've gone to Willis.
And Westwood just trying to run out the clock, goes back to the ground again.
Desert Ridge starting to make some stops for 2 and 3 yards, almost making Westwood think about trying to get their passing going in a true clock situation.
3rd and 4 from the 39-yard line, just under a minute 30 remaining in the third quarter for Westwood's first home game of the season. Last week, they took a tough loss out in Burbank, California, where they showed signs of the team that they have proved that they can be today. Quick pass, Reed makes the catch, gets the first down, and then a couple more.
Caleb Cupolis on an out route. He's been a nice, reliable target for Reed today. He's found space quite a bit. I have a feeling we'll be calling his name quite a bit. Cupolis has been good.
So Westwood will get a fresh set of downs, a minute 7.
Look out for Preston Levitt on the right side.
Handoff, trying to make something happen. He goes backwards and somehow turns back up the field for a gain of a couple, although he probably ran for at least 10 yards in total.
First carry for Xavier Lundy. Again, we mentioned him on defense numerous times tonight, but similar to Nate Willis, he gets the carry in the absence of Barkus, and a pretty good run from the sophomore.
2nd and 5. Westwood needs one more score to get the running clock started. And he makes a move through the hole. Lundy going. Oh, a tackle just shy of the end zone, but Lundy making an effort.
Not bad for a linebacker. He looked pretty shifty on that run. Xavier Lundy making some people miss. Puts Westwood at the 3.
where they can really do anything they want in their playbook. They might let this run down to the end of the third with 15 seconds left on the game clock and 18 on the play clock.
9 seconds left. Reed alone in the shotgun. And he hikes it. He wants to run. Rugby skills coming in clutch as he gets it in for his second rushing TD of the night. And the running clock has started for Westwood High School.
Elliott Reed really gets in down the right side unscathed. Another great blocking assignment from the Warriors. And Reed, all he has to do is jog into the end zone. Westwood up 41-6, and they go for two.
And
35, they go for two.
And they get it.
And you bet, it counts.
So 42 to, pretty sure it's 43 correction, to 6 will be the score going into the fourth quarter. And it should be a fast one, as that running clock is going to really speed up the pressure of this game. And we welcome you back into the broadcast booth. It's been an interesting game. The Warriors showing up. And there we go.
You're looking at the crew.
Yeah, up here in the press box, we have the wonderful members of the Westwood Booster Club helping out the production for on the field. To the left of us, to the right of us, we have the coordinators for Westwood. And then all the way down to the left, you just saw them leave the booth, were the coordinators for Desert Ridge.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I don't think I've seen a lot of blowouts. I don't think I've ever seen coaches leave the press box with an entire quarter to play,
left.
nonetheless.
An interesting sight to see, and as we get ready for the kickoff, we will turn it back over to the game. Thanks for spending some time with us in our booth. We will be covering all of Westwood's home games this season, and we will try to cover as many away games as we can as our production grows as the season goes on. Right now, a two-man squad looking to expand. So if you're interested, reach out to us at Big Show Productions. And that one will go into the end zone. So a touchback, and I saw a somersault out there on the field. Westwood playing with high spirits, and this is one of the most perfect games to get your fans and your family to buy into the hype of the team. There were a ton of them out at Burbank, surprisingly, last week, but now they have the entire school watching, and what a way to show up.
No, we've got high school football at its finest. We've got a Westwood student in a hot dog suit trying to do 43 push-ups. I think they've run out of people at Westwood High School that can do 43 push-ups in a row. And that just really speaks to the Westwood offense's effectiveness tonight. Because Hot Dog Man, it's hard to beat him.
As we mentioned, Desert Ridge kind of looks like they're preparing for the loss. We'll see what they can do now. Quick pass caught in the backfield. He has a block, and he's going to turn it upfield. He's going all the way. Westwood maybe falling asleep on defense a little bit.
Gage Highsmith again. He hasn't been super effective in this second half, but another big play for Highsmith. He's obviously the crown jewel of this offense. He takes a simple screen pass, 75 yards to the crib. Pretty cosmetic at this point, I think, but Gage Highsmith has really made his presence felt despite the deficit. Maybe Desert Ridge shouldn't keep their coaches up here. One play touchdown.
It's such an interesting move to leave early. So, Desert Ridge, all they needed was one play to take it to the house.
Both their touchdown drives today, one play to Gage Highsmith. He's a big play threat. We knew this coming in, and he's been able to break off a few today, but no one else has done anything, which has led to a 43-12 deficit.
Pressure, 2-point conversion is incomplete. And there's a helmet off on the field. And
Yellow flags all over the Westwood High School field.
43-12. And Desert Ridge doesn't look to be taking to the sideline.
So I know we'll have a illegal hands to the face on Desert Ridge. We had a missing helmet for Westwood. Latravian Fricks was missing his helmet at the end of the play, and he made sure the officiating crew knew about it. But also, I think we're going to get maybe a PI on Westwood. Yeah, we are.
And we have personal fouls on both teams.
Looks like these are going to offset, and we're going to do it all over again.
Pass interference on Westwood, personal foul on Desert Ridge.
So they'll come back out for a second try at the 2-point conversion. Down by 31. And Desert Ridge will get moved back.
And on the personal foul penalty, the Jaguars will have it on the Warriors.
The refs here at Jerry Loper Field lacking microphones, so a lot of confusion in the stands and up here in the press box on rulings really all night long.
Derek Wyatt to the right side of Julian. Goes out for a pass, and he drops it. Didn't
and that
look
really
it in.
tells the story for Desert Ridge's running backs today. Derek Wyatt gets a pass. He's got space. He might have been able to get in for 2 on that one. It hits him right in between the 2s on his jersey and drops to the turf. Westwood leads by 31 here on a beautiful night in Mesa.
43-12, 11:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. You're watching Big Show Productions Live. We will be back in a short minute.
Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped, shooting my shot. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend, get what I want. Oh, oh, oh. Get what I want. Oh, oh, oh.
And we welcome you back in an interesting development in the Keyshawn Barkas situation.
Yeah, so Keyshawn Barkas has made his way back to the correct sideline, first of all, which is a key part of this. And he's also made his way back out onto the kick return team. He's going to be back on return duties. He is out deep for this kick, up 31 with 11 and a half minutes remaining.
Desert Ridge short kick fielded at the 30. And he will get pushed from behind. Return of about 6.
Desert Ridge tries to catch Kyler Preston off guard, not the traditional returner, but he makes the play and picks up a few yards.
Westwood will take over first and 10, ball on the Westwood 35-yard line.
I'm interested to see how Westwood handles this drive. 31-point game, running clock. I think this is really a good time to try and see what you have, and we've got a new quarterback out there for Westwood. Number 7, Jackson Anderson will be taking the snaps.
They're going to let Reed take a rest. I think that's a very good move, especially with how physical he's been tonight. And they'll hand it off on the first play. Barkas back in the game, and he's back to normal as well.
It looks like it's the first play for Keyshawn Barkas. He ran that as hard as any other carry today, so I don't think we should be too worried about the status of Keyshawn Barkas.
I think it's surprising that they take out Reed, but they leave in Barkas, especially coming off of an injury.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Score is still 43-12. If it isn't broke, don't fix it as they continue to feed the beast. And he just gets yards so easily.
I'm interested to see if
the Westwood coaching staff is going to test Anderson with a throw here.
If you're watching live right now, make sure to check out the documentary Unfinished Business Season 2 on the Westwood Warriors. Click on the channel icon down below. And keep an eye out for the coming episodes on Arizona Family Sports.
Jackson Anderson, his first completion of the game, he finds Henry Cray on a quick curl route for a first down. Threw it a little low, but Cray adjusted. Makes the play, first down Warriors.
That's Cray's first catch of the season. And we're seeing everybody get reps now, being up by 31. 9 minutes left in the fourth. On the ground, through the alley. And he just does not stop.
He keeps moving until you have 2 or 3 defenders on him. He will keep moving forward and getting chunk yards. That's another 10-yard carry for Keyshawn Barkus. He has been an animal.
Clock still ticking as he is the first down machine.
That should have been a delay game for about 5 seconds. And they don't call
Barkus,
it.
stiff
Barkus.
arm, spins, gets near the first as a flag is thrown.
The student section's not watching the football game anymore. This has really just turned into a fun atmosphere for the students of Westwood.
Try to get an angle of the dance circle happening down there.
This is what happens when it's 43-12, sub 8 minutes. We can really do whatever we want on the broadcast.
And I don't know his name, but I think Blackshirt is winning this dance-off right now.
Blackshirt looks like he's been here before.
As we go back to the game, it's 1st and 10 on the 18.
Desert Ridge was tagged with a face mask while we were focused on other things. Cray should have had that. Goes right through his hands.
He didn't look it in. He was already looking upfield before the ball was in his hands, and Cray goes 1 for 2 on his 2 targets. Go down there. Go join him.
Hey, I might. I'm only 4 months removed from high school. I could blend in.
Both of us students over at ASU Cronkite, freshmen, trying to make it big. And Barkus also wants to make it big. He just cannot be stopped.
Barkus dribbled a man like a basketball on that run. He gets out to the right side and a stiff arm straight to the helmet of a Desert Ridge corner, and he bounced like a basketball on the hardwood.
6:30 clock still ticking. 1st and goal from the 8. And rolling to his left, incomplete, bobbled.
Anderson put a nice ball on Edson Porter there. Porter not able to haul it in. That tipped up in the air. If there was a Desert Ridge defender in the area, definitely would have had a chance at an interception there.
Jack.
Barkus still in the game. They're going to look. I think they're trying to score a touchdown with Barkus here.
Jackson Anderson, the QB, at the helm. And we see a pre-snap flag. That's not going away anytime soon, it looks like.
At least we haven't seen one in a while. That was our longest gap without a false start or a neutral zone infraction this game.
So they'll go back to the 15. And Barkus, stiff arm. You know what's incredible at Barkus? Doesn't have college offers yet. One of the top 6A running backs, one of the best running backs in Arizona.
No, I think
Scouts.
we should be asking the coaching staff of Desert Ridge if he should have an offer. And I have a feeling they say he should probably have more than a few because he has killed them all 4 quarters tonight.
Barkis had 165 yards last week, and he led the 6A in rushing yards last season, and that is no easy feat with some of the competition he faces. And a fumbled snap. Who recovers it? Desert Ridge. Looks like they're pointing, and Barkis gets stopped, robbed of another touchdown as we see a mishandled snap.
Yeah, another miscommunication between the center and the quarterback. We've seen a couple bad snaps. We've seen too many false starts to count tonight. I think Westwood is just having issues on the communication department. That snap went right off Anderson's face mask. And Desert Ridge, props to them. Heads up play from the defensive line, fell right on it, didn't give Westwood a chance to pick it up. They're going to start this drive from their own 3, though.
Clock is still running, 4:35 in the fourth. It is a 43-12 game. Can Westwood get a safety? No, but they do make a tackle pretty quickly.
1-yard runs have been a theme of the Desert Ridge offense. I believe that's Derek Wyatt getting the ball again. It sure is Derek Wyatt. He has had no space. The defensive line of Westwood, although they might not have a lot of sacks or maybe tackles for loss, they have been all over the stat sheet tonight.
Second and 7. Got a couple yards on the rush, and they're going to go back on the ground again. Wyatt out to the right side, and flags are thrown as he is lit up.
Going to check the flag here.
And the Westwood coordinators will take their exit from the booth. Desert Ridge took it at the start of the fourth. And the Jaguars will get a first down, and the chains moved. 3:10 remaining here at Westwood High School for the Warriors' first home game of the season. And the 6A region is going to be tough competition. Basha, number 1 right now, is currently up 24-9 against Orange Lutheran, the number 20 team in the country. Basha trying to become nationally ranked again. We haven't seen that since 2 seasons ago when they were led by Damon Williams Jr., the now Washington starting quarterback. Pressure in the backfield. Westwood almost gets a sack. The escape magic and an incomplete pass thrown just short. And Desert Ridge almost made magic happen on a play, but kind of a telltale of the whole game where they get so close but just cannot execute.
That was great evasive skills from Blake Julian, something that we really haven't seen all day. He fends off a rusher, rolls to his right, has a man, underthrows him by just a little bit, and that's all it took to turn a really nice play into an incompletion.
And Julian nowhere near as mobile of a quarterback as Reed, and I think that's really what has separated these two offenses is Reed has been able to make something out of nothing. Julian has struggled to really scramble. Quick pass, far sideline. It's caught, and he stays in bound. That is a nasty catch.
It may be 43-12, but we have to give credit where credit is due. Gage Highsmith has been impressive today. When you target one guy as much as they have, you'd think he wouldn't have any space to make any plays, but he's gotten open. He just high-pointed that ball. I don't think anyone else on the field could have made that play, but Gage Highsmith has been great tonight, despite the 31-point deficit. Let's see if Desert Ridge can get something going here with 1:13 left.
And while Max Preps is slightly out of date, Orange Lutheran has brought the score. They're tied at 24. The biggest rivalry game, not even rivalry game, the biggest game taking place in the state of Arizona right now. Westwood over here, though, trying to make a name for themselves. We talked earlier about how they're kind of often not even thought of when you think of 6A football here in Arizona. If they can perform like this, besides the flags, I think that does give them a shot and making it into the Open Division playoffs.
And it starts with Elliott Reed. When you get a performance like the one he had tonight, you know, good things are going to happen. Elliott Reed made a lot of plays, and you know, Burkus is going to get his. We know that. He came in after an injury in a 31-point game and drove his team all the way down the field. Would have had a touchdown if it wasn't for miscommunication. So, you know, Burkus is going to get his, but if you can work guys like Atwood and Kupelis into the offense, that's a lot of weapons to think about. And if Elliott Reed is the man for the job like he has been tonight, Westwood can do some damage.
.52 seconds left in the game. A 31-point commanding lead from the Warriors, making up for their tough loss in Burbank last week. But the team took a lot of positives away. They got to enjoy an amazing trip over to California. The team bonding and the opportunities that they were able to get their hands on over there was amazing. You can see that all in episode 2 of Unfinished Business, Westwood's Hard Knocks series, premiering on Arizona Family Sports and then posted onto Unfinished Business Season 2, this YouTube channel that you're watching this live stream on, a few days afterwards. Make sure that you check out Arizona Family Sports for episode 2.
I will say that documentary taught me everything I needed to know about Westwood before calling this game today. Pretty short notice, and I learned plenty.
Stiff arm, and finally, almost a sack, but he's able to get it off and nowhere to go, but at least he saves a sack from the stats sheet. Under 30 seconds.
I will say, you may have seen a couple on the broadcast. I've seen more balloons fly into the air than
Yes.
up tonight. There must have been a balloon. Oh, yeah, there's balloons on the chain link fences outside the gates, and they are not tied in very well because there are numerous balloons that are on their way to globe as we speak.
And this will be the final play of the game as the pass is caught. And Westwood will walk away with the victory. Final score is 43-12 as they take down the Desert Ridge Jaguars in a pretty satisfactory way. The only thing that they need to improve on is penalties. Looking ahead at their schedule, next Friday, the Warriors travel to Shadow Ridge High School to surprise Arizona. A little bit of a trip for the team for their second road game of the season, but with the momentum, I think that they could see a lot of that carry over.
Yeah, well, today it's a great day to be a Westwood Warrior. You can tell, you know, we got students having dance battles, families are having the time of their life. They avenged a really tough loss from last year that Coach Large spoke to as really a killer for their season. And the fact that they were able to come out today and really prove that they are an improved squad this year. And they do belong in conversations for the 6A playoffs this year. So, you know, if Westwood can play like this, they can hang with a lot of teams in this state.
And we welcome you back to our side of life in the broadcast booth as we will give you guys a quick recap of the game for Westwood. It was an explosive start, a little bit of some slower plays in the second and kind of near the end of the first, but it was better in the second half, the penalties. There were so many of them in the first, and I'm pretty sure maybe 99% of them were pre-snap flags.
Yeah, full starts, and there was one illegal formation that cost them a touchdown, actually. But when you look into the box score of this game, you're going to see 35-6 at halftime. You know, it was a 7-6 second half, and it really flew by. But the turnover battle was really what got Westwood that humongous lead. They had a pick six go to the house. They recovered an onside kick by surprise. There was a fumble that Westwood got. The defense was setting up this offense for success, and when you have your offense working like that with Reed and Barkus, it's a hard thing to stop.
I think Westwood improved on what they needed to improve on. I saw a not just solid, a great performance from Elliott Reed tonight. He looked in control. He looked like an elite quarterback. You know you have to be in the 6A region. There's such fierce competition. A lot of them have countless D1 offers. I think this is a great step in the right direction for him and the rest of the offense. And then Keyshawn Barkis gets injured and then just takes over on the next drive. So Westwood walking away relatively healthy, high spirits for their upcoming away game next week. And what an exciting matchup it was today. Thank you for tuning into Big Show Productions, our first live stream, just the two of us, as we hopefully look to expand the team and can enhance the coverage of the game for you guys at home. Thank you all the Westwood families and friends, or even people from Desert Ridge who tuned in to watch the game tonight. Your support means everything. Make sure, I've mentioned it countless times, but if you somehow missed it, check out the documentary. You're going to love it. If I can't convince you, I don't know who else can, but it is well worth your time. It's a great watch. You can check out episode 1. Like I said, keep an eye out for episode 2, but that's all from here at Westwood High School today. Jaden Ricken, Angus Trangmo on the call. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your night.